fall?
Starhenge, as the connective piece between the cosmic energies of the beyond and the monster world below, shares a very special connection with the monster world. It sort of needs to have energy feeding from it in both directions. And obviously the era, the golden age of Dawn of Fire, ended at some point somehow. We're not exactly sure the details of that yet. Memories are scant. The monsters don't seem to remember anything having happened. But it's believed that the connection between Starhenge and the monster world was severed at some point, possibly as a result of the events that were taking place at the surface. So, Starhenge being sort of a mix of not quite either machine nor organic, it's sort of in between, has this in between quality, was able to subsist for a long time on its own, but then eventually I think it ran out of gas, so to speak, and then when it finally started to really sort of corrode and run out of juice, then I think it fell out of orbit, and now we have Celestial Island as a result.
Great. So another question about Starhenge. Inside the model of Starhenge, there is another sigil that doesn't seem to relate to any of the known elements. So what's the deal?
Yes, there's been some speculation for some time about a 13th celestial, which, if you're following your zodiac signs, is correct, because I think recently, in the last 10 years, they introduced a 13th zodiac sign. Oh, it starts with an O, Ophiuchus or something like that. It sort of budges out both of the zodiac's symbols on either side.
But that doesn't correspond with any of the existing celestials.
That's right. And because the group of celestials is confined to the number 12, there are 5 naturals plus fire, and then 5 ethereals plus electricity. There is, in fact, only 12 known species of celestial. The sigil that I believe you're referring to can be found on one of the floating orbital pieces around Starhenge, and this symbol is actually found on many of the artifacts and structures and features during the era of Dawn of Fire. You can see it carved into the rock on the Wonder Mine. You can see it on a couple of the Starhenge decorations. So it's not actually the symbol for, I think, Sagittarius, I think is what
yeah, they speculated Sagittarius.
Yes, this is in fact a separate symbol that deals with the connection between the passing of time and elements of transformation. It's also, might also be carved into the perimeter of the teleporter, but it is a monster world symbol that does not confirm the existence of a third celestial, and then the elemental symbols that we do know are the ones that are rotating around the pieces, the separate discs stacked of Starhenge.
Right. So moving on from Starhenge, many people in the chat wanted to know, what is Rare Wubbox saying?
Rare Wubbox, having returned from an adventure to the monster world, wanted to impart some of the things that it had heard in the human world. Now, because Rare Wubbox is an elemental being of electricity, the way that it traveled throughout the human world was via wires and through cables and through sort of like back doors throughout the internet. It was traveling all around, and so what it had a chance to listen to and what it misinterpreted as sort of anthems or song were actually a lot of error messages that computers were spitting out. If you listen carefully, there's a little bit of distortion on, but several of the phrases that Rare Wubbox is uttering have to do with error, or system meltdown, or overflow, or stuff like that. So its inspiration comes from the messages that it was hearing when it was traveling through the electricity of the human world.
Very cool. I hope a lot of people can put their minds at ease now knowing what he's saying. So the next question is about wordos. So this person says, it seems like Talker is based off of Dave Kerr, and that Persona is based off of Sarah Parsons. Is this true? And if so, who is Magpie based off of?
Those are very astute observations, and they are, in fact, based on those real-world performers. Like the Sugar Fam, they share a connection with a human performer, and that's what makes them legendary as their class. So Talker is voiced by Dave Kerr, Persona voiced by Sarah Parsons, and so Magpie is actually voiced by Maggie Park, who you will find in the credits for My Singing Monsters as having done many of the other voices of several other characters, to include Pom Pom and some of Tweedle and Dandy Doo and a few other characters.